All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming to the launch party for 7-1. This marks the start of a new volume of Chestnut Review, and we're so excited to be in year 7, which is incredible. Um, and we really could not do it without the amazing people that we have here today. Lana, Bridget, Supervanu are all readers. Praise and Michael are genre editors, and Courtney is our assistant editor. I am the managing editor of Chestnut Review, for those of you who haven't met me. And yeah, so I lead these launch parties, and I always love seeing the variety of work. I love seeing what people have produced, and of course, how these strange connections come between pieces and between different things. So, without further ado, we're going to do things just slightly differently than we normally do because we are missing some people. And also, we have this wonderful new feature called Tales from the Queue. We started doing this, I think, in 5.4, where we ask one of our readers to essentially reflect on and react to one of the pieces. So starting in 7.1, we have asked them to be here today to present their Tales from the Queue to you. Um, and I'm so thrilled to see that Noreen is here. I've been in love with Noreen's poetry ever since my days at Angst. And so Bridget Kreiner is going to be talking about Noreen's piece, In Your Kitchen After the Winchester Farmers Market, I Contemplated Lego Sardines.
You want me to read that first, just to clarify?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. All right. Hi, everybody. I really love this piece, and so I was very excited that I was given the opportunity to write this little paragraph about it. So I will begin. What first got my attention about Noreen Ocampo's poem, In Your Kitchen After the Winchester Farmers Market, I contemplate the Lego sardines, was the way its long title pushes up against the shorter lines in the poem, as well as the way the title pinpoints the occasion of the poem in such clear, specific terms. The title located me in both place and time before I ever reached its first line, describing a specific setting, kitchen, and after the Winchester Farmers Market. The placement of your, albeit a bit ambiguous at first, points to a particular relationship prominent in the poem, and the placement of Ligo sardines adds a cultural dimension. Ligo is a popular brand of canned fish based in the Philippines. As I progressed from the title to the poem's opening line, because I want to impress you, the speaker's relationship to the you, your, in the title came into clearer focus, evoking, as Ocampo says in her artist statement, the nervous electricity that often peppers the beginnings of romantic relationships. I also noticed the way the speaker's desire moved from lust to longing for a meaningful romantic connection. Because I want to do more than satiate this afternoon hunger. These lines conveyed a palpable sense of nervous electricity to me as I read the poem. The other dimension of the poem that drew me in was the way Ocampo uses the can of sardines to such a remarkable effect. The specificity of Ligo as the brand points to its cultural importance and suggests a facet of the speaker's identity. Then, in depicting the vegetable my mother would now slice and saute, connect sardines to the speaker's childhood through the gauzy lens of nostalgia and the speaker's complex desire to be vulnerable, to be known by another, is reinforced. Last, because sardines feature so prominently in the poem, I could not help but wander off in my mind to an old favorite poem, Why I'm Not a Painter by Frank O'Hara, which also has sardines in it. And while this connection may not have been intentional, the image of the sardine can in Ocampo's poem evoked a sort of readerly nostalgia, which for me sparked a deep, layered connection with the poem.
Thank you so much. That was really wonderful, Bridget. So Noreen, without further ado, if you could read your poem to us, that would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope my audio is okay. I apologize if you guys hear ping pong in the background. but I've tried to cancel that out. But yeah, first, before I start, I wanted to say a really big thank you to Bridget for that really beautiful commentary. I was super touched when I first saw it go live on the website. And yeah, thank you so much to the rest of the staff for putting this together. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and read my piece. Is audio okay? Can you guys hear me? Okay,
That's
great.
good.
All right. So, in your kitchen after the Winchester Farmers Market, I contemplate the Lego sardines. Because I want to impress you, I crack open the red can instead of the green, a threat of chili to brighten the usual gentle tomato sauce. Because I want to do more than satiate this afternoon hunger, to be exciting as well as a soft place for your palm to land, I undress a red onion, let my eyes water at its sharper, more promising flavor. We won't miss the quiet taste or translucent green color of the vegetable my mother would now slice and saute. Instead, I whisk in an egg for its infinite capacity to fill the challenge of the pan. What I want most is you, to part your mouth in surprise and not just satisfaction. Show me the body of your laughter, reaching for me, asking for more. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that reading, Noreen. That was beautiful. It's a beautiful poem. Yeah. Um, so next, Super Banu, if you wouldn't mind reading your Tales from the Queue. So this is for Esme Kaplan Kinsey's Sum of Parts. I definitely recommend checking this one out. Esme could not be here today, but I hope that this statement makes you feel like, ooh, I have to go and read this piece. Yes.
Yeah. This was a clear favorite from the start, so I didn't even to put much effort into writing the first impression because it stayed with me. So yeah. Uh, what immediately jumps out from some of parts is the sensory detailing. You don't just read about the protagonist's experiences, you taste the blackberries with them, cough after the first smoke, breathe in the poppers, shoot the tequila, and stuff in the lime wedges. And while doing so, you glean an insight into the protagonist's world, the reimagined sense of home, of belongingness. You understand the complex interpersonal equations rooted in an understanding of the self, which shines through in its strength and capacity to adapt. The tenacious spirit of its characters makes this work a reaffirmation of the phrase existence is resistance.
Thank you so much, Super Vanu. We really appreciate you being here. We appreciate you writing the Tales from the Queue for this time around. Yes, it's always good to see you. Um, okay. Uh, yeah, sir, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but since you're here, would you be willing to read your work yourself? It's totally fine if not. But yeah, you can read a section from Call Night. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I haven't prepared to read, but I can choose a section and read it, Maria.
Yeah,
I'll
I
probably
appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah,
stumble
since you're
over my
here.
reading. Okay. Um, Let me just open it here 1 second. Oh, I can put it in the chat. Let me get that. Just as it's a part of a short story collection that I'm working on. Medically themed. I'm an obstetrician. Um, And so this is just one of the stories in this medical collection. And it's this scene, which I'm sorry, I'm choosing a little bit at random, is about a delivery that's gone awry, and the relationship of a physician with a patient that she has been caring for in a small town in Wisconsin. And this is a pregnancy conceived through in vitro fertilization, donor sperm, a single woman who works as a waitress in a small roadside restaurant. The physician's name is Lauren. A shoulder, Lauren called out. her hands around the baby's head, which protruded from the vagina, the rest of the baby undelivered. She tried to keep the surging fear subsumed, just calling out what it was in a steady and clear voice, remembering what she had learned about showing panic. If you lose it, everyone will. The baby, much bigger than Lauren had estimated. Lauren pushed the thoughts of everything she should have or could have done to anticipate this moment from her mind. The room now crowded, 3 nurses, maybe 4. We need pediatrics called in, Lauren said. Then, don't push, Meredith, and the woman stopped pushing. Lauren looking at her, the confusion in her eyes, the pleading. Don't push, Lauren said again. And then to the nurse, suprapubic pressure, now please. The nurse, Andrea, standing on a step stool, did just that. Her small fist behind Meredith's pubic bone. Now push, Meredith, Lauren called out, her voice shriller than she wanted. Nothing budged. The baby's face, a dusky blue, socked up against the outside of Meredith's vagina, the cord compressed in the birth canal, the oxygen cut off. Lauren continued gentle downward pressure on the head, then gave that up and tried to slide her gloved hand behind the baby's head and into the birth canal. Once there, she could feel the arm, but not the hand. Her fingers blindly groped for the elbow, trying to flex it and bring the lower arm across the chest so she could reach the hand. She could feel the seconds and minutes pounding by. No timekeeper assigned. The nurses crowded around the bed, urging Meredith on. Lauren feeling her heart beating wildly, trying to calm herself, abandoned trying to deliver the arm and instead tried to rotate the stuck shoulder from under the pubic bone. First clockwise, then counterclockwise, then clockwise again. The baby stayed fixed, stuck in place, the face a deeper blue, eyes bulging, a steady stream of mucus coming out of the swollen nostrils and puckered mouth. Is pediatrics here? Lauren said loudly, no longer trying to hide the alarm surging over her. They've been called, said someone behind her, which to Lauren was enough of a non-answer that it only served to inflame the panic which had taken hold of her. Meredith pushing and crying, asking if her baby was going to be okay. Lauren was running out of options, short of a procedure she had never tried before. Only read about with dread and awe, the Zavanelli maneuver, replacing the baby's head into the birth canal and doing a cesarean section. She couldn't imagine launching into this, and so she fell back to what she had been doing. Again, the downward pressure, again, the reach for the hand, again, the attempt at rotation. She felt something snap as a clavicle fractured, a gift to the shoulders, enough that now a bulge of white shoulder appeared and then more. And with tugging and pulling, the baby was delivered, the body oozing out of the birth canal like toothpaste.
What a great image. Thank you so much for reading. Yeah, this is a wonderful story. And I really look forward to this collection. I think it's going to be amazing. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. So I know we yeah, Meham, I hope I'm saying that right. I know that you're here. Thank you for coming. Uh, we have your piece, Mr. Freeman.
Hi, Maria. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's good.
All right. So I'll be reading an extract from Mr. Freeman. First of all, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for the team. So the excerpt I'll be reading is basically reminiscent of Monday, the main character. So throughout the piece, he's only thinking about his admiration of Mr. Freeman and mourning both Mr. Freeman's passing and his brother's passing away. So as he does this, he's only telling us, giving us the backstory of how we got to where we got to. So I read now. I tried to read in the essays Mr. Freeman asking me to read. He said he's helping me write my own. Last week, he asked me to bring my essay, and I told him I haven't notes to copy. I lied. I didn't know how to read well and understand. I didn't know fine and big spelling. Telemun used to read and spell for me, and he ran away 3 days ago. We looked for him, and no one seen him. The day before Telemun run, Uncle Son beat him with Koboko. He catch him doing the thing I teach him. He said Telemun will go hellfire. Telemun shout back at him, Father, I see you doing it too. Daddy, wake up, wearing. Wake up, wearing. What audacity! Uncle Son slapped him hard. See this small rat. You are accusing me if you weren't my blood. Uncle Son pulled finger inside Telemun's eye. When we returned to our room, I touched Telemun. Sorry, leave me alone, no, he shouted. And I remember that night, Mama fall inside bush as me and her running, blood pouring out of her mouth. She say, find Uncle Tiono. I say, stand up, Mama. We run. It's night. Fulani not seeing us. Then Fulani gone doing takata, and I run. I returning and hiding inside tree because Fulani man shooting Mama tata. So I tell Telumun, you are my brother. Brother always taking care of brother. He say nothing. He cry and cry. The next day, he not come back from school. I missing Telumun like I missing Mr. Freeman. Now, I reading this book on my own. I reading punctuation marks. I not understanding and I liking the math. It is then I putting inside this essay now. Anyhow, thank you very much.
Thank you. Such a great reading. Such a great piece. Thank you for coming and sharing it with us. Yes. Sorry, Lana. You you seem to be taken over by a cat, so that always excites me, especially when it's not my cat. Yes. Um,
Sorry, she thinks it's her dinner time, so she's decided to weigh in.
just like a cat. Yes. All right, so we have a few visual art pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little interlude where we so bear with me here. Yeah, so this is Camellia Paul's Flower in My Eyes. It is an intricate black and white artwork that attempts to blend traditional and contemporary aesthetics. Created using ink on handmade paper, the sketch features a poised woman dressed in a richly adorned kimono filled with elaborate floral and botanical patterns. The surrounding environment mirrors the motifs within her attire, creating a harmonious interplay between figure and background. The stylized line work, reminiscent of traditional Japanese woodblock prints, exudes grace and refinement. The intricate detailing and flowing organic forms capture a sense of delicate beauty, symbolizing an intimate connection between nature and human expressions. I think I might need to make my screen slightly smaller so that we can see it in total. Yeah, so it's a really stunning, beautiful artwork. Yes. Um, all right. Our next piece is Mike Wheeler's Goods and Gaze. So, Goods and Gaze echoes the essence of home. It's an effort to portray the rhythm and everyday realities of life in my homeland. Set against the vibrant backdrop of a local market, the photograph frames a scene many can relate to. It reflects my vision on themes of time, identity, memory, and emotion, recasting an ordinary moment as a layered meditation on tradition, community, and the subtle, often overlooked gestures that define the fabric of where I come from. It's both a record and an homage. All right. And then finally, we have Sholanke Boluwatife Emmanuel's Aiming Right. In Blueprint for Adventure, a young boy meticulously drafts a catapult, symbolizing the intersection of creativity and ingenuity. Rendered in charcoal and pastel, the artwork captures the intensity of the boy's focus, highlighting the intricate details of his design. The catapult, a tool of youthful rebellion and innovation, serves as a metaphor for the boundless potential of imagination. Through this piece, I explore the themes of creativity, curiosity, and the unbridled energy of youth. The contrast between the dark, expressive charcoal and the soft, ethereal pastel adds depth and texture, drawing the viewer into the boy's world. Blueprint for Adventure invites us to ponder the possibilities that emerge when imagination knows no bounds, and the joy of creation becomes a catalyst for exploration and discovery. All right, thank you. So it looks like we are still missing some people, which is completely fine. So I'm going to go ahead and our associate poetry editor, Mohammed, is going to read Nocturne in Orange. Thank you so much.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Okay, I'll be taking Mario Umana's Nocturne in Orange.
Yes.
Not a rooster's call, but a sound like thunder splits the night open. The sky is starless, the orange of old roses, and the air drips with angst. The walls of my room rattle, ribs beneath a sudden fist, as sleep unbuttons itself from my eyes. I step outside like everyone else, faces peeling from curtains, silhouettes gathering in a hush that is part silence, part panic, part question. Our shadows stretch longer than our prayers. Ya Allah, a woman breathes. Dogs that had barked now hold their tongues. A man drags light from his phone, hungry for answers. It is not an insurgent attack, we are told. We nod, like flowers learning to trust the sun again. Fear toss slowly. The night tenderized like smoked meat. In the stillness, our doorways reabsorb us. Somewhere, sleep presses itself into the folds of morning, and this becomes a dream or a memory we might meet again in another month's bones. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. Yes, it's a beautiful poem. Yeah, so because of some late things, Pauline did say that she could not be here. Her piece is called Rabbitfish, and I really encourage you to go and read this short story. Um, so I'll just read her artist statement, and then I'll read the first couple of paragraphs since she couldn't be here. So, Rabbitfish is an exploration of silence, the pain and possibility of uncertainty, and trying to find the words to name your own strangeness. I wanted to explore the intimacies and misunderstandings that grow in silence, as well as what happens when we finally begin to speak. It's a story about first kisses and finding a home in queerness that I began drafting before my first queer kiss, then wrote and revised as I fell in love with my girlfriend and searched for language to describe this new era of my life. Seattle, 2009. The summer the rabbitfish washed up, Penelope's uncle Noah went missing. But he wasn't gone yet the day they found it, and she was almost as happy as she'd been in her life. Puget Sound was soft and silvery, and shadows chased each other out to the depths. She stumbled behind Noah, wrapped in a sweater, and daydreams of butterflies opening like lips. When she caught up to him, he gave her a wry look and held his thermos out. You look like you need it. The coffee was sour, but she drank it greedily. It was one of a thousand tiny gifts that proved Noah trusted her, even when she broke the rules. He was 8 years older, closer to her age than her mother's. Since he stood on the threshold of adulthood, he'd be the one to beckon her in. Hangovers were an initiation rite. Do you want to tell me about last night? He asked. She wasn't ready to talk about it. Not the burn of cherry cola and vodka, not the shock of dew-wet grass under her bare feet when she, Talia, and the rest of Mel's friends snuck out to see the stars. Now they were 14. Sleepovers had taken on a sheen of dangerous wonder. When she tipped her head back, Dahlia cradled to catch her. Her body was stronger than she realized, or maybe just more top-heavy. Later, when Mel dared Thalia to kiss whoever she liked most, she crawled over and pressed her lips to Penelope's. It wasn't her first kiss, but it was the first one she wanted to remember. Talia kissed her again, shorter, like a thank you. Penelope felt the sharp flare of a match struck inside her. For the first time, she could see the whole vast sweep of herself and knew it was a place she wanted to stay. All right. Um, Thank you so much for listening. Our poetry editor, Michael Mawson, is going to read Bug Chaser.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Michael, we can hear
Hi,
you.
everyone.
Yes.
You could go on. Just go on.
Okay. So I'm going to be reading Buckchester by Tim Stobierski. I hope I got the name correct. So, when you were 6 and began to itch, your mother threw a party so all of us boys, coralled, would do what coralled boys do: take off our shirts and horse around, dog pals, skin to skin, and pox like clockwork. How, like a dog with fleas, I scratched. Years later, shirtless again, you would test the pox scars at my cheek and temple before greeting my tongue with your own and introducing me to the cracked leather of strep. I remember the way my father's face pulsated when he connected the dot. The two of us in the back of his sedan, gripping at each other's throats. From that day on, we'd joke that you were patient zero and I was Arctic to resist. But it actually kind of became our thing. For you to catch a cold and pass it to me, a secret I could hold in my mouth, like smoke, pink eye, mono, flu, always you first, then me. And now you tell me you made a mistake, fevered one night against another man's skin, cough his result, and beg me to leave, so you can keep this one all to yourself. But that's never been our thing. If the red ants marching in your veins chew through to my lambing blood, what's one more bug between us? Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael. Love that ending. It's one more bug, right? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we have two more pieces. I'm going to present Sarah Quinn Rivera's piece. A woman is an unreliable narrator. Um, this is a this is a great piece. So I'm going to go ahead and read the whole thing. It's quite short. Um, I was just 24 when I got married at the edge of a bog. Mosquitoes, May-apples, cicada buzz. I had been dreaming about weddings, brides locked in small wooden rooms. We spent the night of our wedding at a hotel, and the hot tub leaked, and my new husband passed out drunk in bed. I told no one at work that I'd been married over the weekend. When we fought, my husband closed all the windows. I think it was the day after he launched me from the bed into the wall. I thought you were the dog, he said, that he sent me flowers at work. Maybe I had refused sex. Maybe I had emptied his little tin full of roach clips and rolling papers and little bags of weed into the trash. Maybe I had opened my mouth. The baby came 3 days before my 28th birthday. We bought a house in the country. The neighbors burned trash and lit the roof of our garage on fire. The smell of the river seeped beneath the doors. The windows were painted shut. I found a putty knife. I learned how to work at the paint a little every day. We tried therapy. The office was tucked into an old building. A sagging blue couch, a door that led into the parking lot. I said something like, I feel bad when you're mean to me. And he said, no, you don't feel that way. And the therapist said, mouse quiet, feelings aren't wrong. And I think he got up and walked out, or I did, or neither of us did. We never went back. At home, the dogs wandered through the yard. The river plodded behind the landfill. Buzzards roosted on the abandoned paper mill. In April, I picked up the baby and held him to my chest and said I wanted a divorce. The windows were open. The smell of mown grass, humidity, rain sifted through the screen. I remember the saying of it, but cannot remember what came after. I held the baby tight. I held the baby tight. Right. So for our last piece by Sayuri Matsuura Ayers, Praise is going to read the poem Releasing the Paddy Waters 1960. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So, releasing the Paddy Waters, 1960. Barefoot and ankle deep in muck, you bend to grip a melted concrete block. You rock back and forth until silt erupts from gritty seams. With your body's power, you unleash a murky surge that chants through aged stone channels. As current flows from field into field, so it seems with tadpole and minnow. Your sweat spills into parted earth, furrows opening to cradle, rice seedling, green that will emerge from tilted soil, from oxen dung, the ground made holy by decay. O Basan, you have set me apart to remain untouched by labor that ruptures back, that slumped you into the earth. At the rim and a black stone lodges in my throat. How can I honor what I really know? My body is still unbroken by soil. How can I claim a lineage that I have not earned through rendered mortal? But you lift eyes to the mountains transformed by flare of wild cherry, the flames that leap from a greater fire. Your voice curses into me. At your command, the jagged stone tumbles into the flood, unleashing my tongue. I sing of the flowing field that I rose from, of my body burst between these Wakayama ears. Oh, grandmother, I am the blossom that emerges from your blood, from the soil of labor. Your body open to release that surge, the surge that nurtures another and another. That's
All right,
it.
Praise. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful reading of the poem. Thanks everybody for coming and participating. So now we're going to go to part two. Right, so we've got Michael and Mohammed here from the poetry team. We have Praise here from the prose team, and of course we have a bunch of wonderful readers and our contributors. So if you want to, you may go ahead and unmute and ask someone a question. You can ask a general question to us, the Chestnut team, or a specific question to one of the contributors or one of the people here today. Yes. Mohammed, would you say a few words about what it was like to work on the poem that we just heard? This is such a beautiful poem in this historical moment, right? The Paddy in Wakayama. It's such an interesting address to talk to the speaker's grandmother. So could you say a bit about the editorial process and what it was like to work with Sayuri?
Yes. While working with Sayuri on that poem, it took us a while because we were trying to balance the narrative of the poem with her experience. Because from what she told me, she said the poem is about her personal experience that she had. Even the name in the epigraph is her grandmother's name. So it's from a personal experience that she wrote that poem. So we had to go back and forth during the editorial process. We're trying to balance things up from the opening lines down to the middle, up until the resolution. So I enjoyed working with her, especially I love stories that come from personal experiences because you get to feel the emotions that the author or the speaker is trying to pass across because they have lived experiences and everyone else can relate with their experiences. So I enjoyed the editorial process. I enjoyed working with her on the poem because it was more of a collaboration. She had the experience. I was trying to make the poem come to life and maybe sort out some things that were um, what's it called, affecting the narrative from the submission she made. So I really enjoyed it, and she made it easier for me because she was telling me other things that were not even in the poem. Yeah.
I think it's always interesting to work with poets, especially when they have like a strong vision for their work, but maybe they're working from personal history or familial archives. I think a lot of poets have this kind of hybridy relationship with like a CNF or type of memoir writing, where there's something real and factual underpinning whatever the inspiration is for the poem. So I really appreciate the insights that you shared. Um, yeah. Noreen, if you don't mind, would you mind telling us a bit about the book that you're working on now? I've been really interested in your work for a number of years, and I'm very excited to see like what's coming next for you.
Thank you. That's super sweet. But yeah, my next project is going to be a continuation of the micro chapbook that I have coming out with Pork Belly Press later this year. And that micro chapbook really hones in on, I guess, the experience of moving to Mississippi from my home state of Georgia. And it's a reflection about like Filipino American experiences in the South and scarcity, but also unexpected community. And I think that my more full project is kind of just like a continuation of that, um, which also deals with growing up in Georgia. And I guess it tries to approach a more greater sense of like community and togetherness, which I think the micro chapbook that I have coming out doesn't quite get to that place. Like it gestures towards it, but the full project is able to take on like the full spectrum of everything. So yeah, hopefully that'll be in the world soon, but I'm still very much working on it. So yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you. That sounds really interesting. I love Pork Belly Press. I got to meet them at AWP like one year way back in the day, and like I think their micros and their things they publish are so beautiful. So and of course like please let us know when it's out so our comms team can promote you. That goes for all of our contributors. Like if you publish something else, even if it's a short work, we definitely want to hear from you and hear your good news. So like, yeah, sir, if you publish more stories from this collection or whenever this collection is ready to go out in the world, like we're happy to, go ahead and sort of usher it out there. Yes. Yeah, I think it's going to be a quite interesting collection. Yeah, so would you mind saying a little bit about, I mean, you said that you work as an obstetrician, so I imagine you have a wealth of things to draw from, but you're sort of alchemizing it into fiction, right? And I think that makes sense, right? Because of course you need to protect the privacy of the patients that you have. But what has it been like to then take a step back and then like fictionalize and write about some of these things, drawing on your experiences?
Yeah, thanks. I never actually imagined writing medical related themes. The last collection I published was more about immigration and coming just home and displacement and so forth. So this was for me a bit of a different journey, trying to do, as you said, Maria, step back and find some dimension in medicine that made sense for me to fictionalize. And the area that I kind of settled on was more the interplay between personal lives that sometimes erupt forth between a patient and a physician in unpredictable ways and unintended settings. And so a lot of the stories deal with that. It's the plan. It's so far all the short stories have been published. Call Night is one of them. and it's 6 stories and a novella, and I'm trying to wrap up the novella part of the collection now. But that's kind of the direction I'm taking. It's not so much about any specific incidents; it's more about these complex, layered relationships.
That's amazing. I can only imagine. I mean, I know it's like, yeah, and I think that's a great focus. So are these stories and novella, do they have like linked characters or is it just linked in theme? No, okay, that's great. Yes.
Yeah, they're not linked, so it's they're separate.
Yeah, I love that. Um, Hi, Bobby. I don't want to put you on the spot, but it's good to see you. Um, for those of you who don't know, Bobby is now a poetry reader for us, but her chapbook just came out. It was really a pleasure to work with her on it, and if I can find links, yes, so Uncensored Snapshots, which is available on Bookshop and on Amazon.
Hi Maria, hi everyone. Sorry
Hi.
for coming in now.
Oh, no worries. Yeah. Do you have a hankering to read a work from your chap? It's okay if you don't. I know it's like completely
Um,
just yeah, but if you would like to, we would love to hear from you.
all right, please let me get it. Ah, okay, yeah, I'm back. Sorry, I'll not be using my video,
That's good. That's
but
fine. Yeah.
okay. Okay, so I'll be reading Toxic Laughing Gas. It was published on Sundog Lit. Toxic Laughing Gas. At the verification center, the lecturer scanned my face and inquired about my people. I looked at him and we both burst our laughter into the thin air. Everyone came out like a crow, but that didn't stop us from gathering. The thing is, deep down, we could feel tiny blackbirds eating out of it, but we continued laughing until there was nowhere else for them to go, for us to go. At the end, we swallowed and passed the graveyard before our eyes. So yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a beautiful poem, beautiful reading, amazing chapbook. So again, yes, I encourage you to check it out. Um, All right. Well, this seems like a great ending point. Thank you all for your time and attention. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your words and your creativity. It's been really amazing to see you and to spend this time together with you. So our next issue, 7/2, will be out in October, and we look forward to seeing it. But also, now for those of you who are contributors, and also for those of you who are watching this later, like you are part of our community. So again, if you ever have great news, please let us know. If you want to come on staff, we're always looking for people. And even if we don't have like training open at the moment, we can let you know when we do again. So we really appreciate you. You are part of our community now, and thank you for coming. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much, and see you
Bye.
later.
Thank you.
Yes.